There are so many acts of success of our government that many of us know is the greatest nation in the world. Through the years, we've had great leaders who have recognized that government can work on behalf of the American people. Today, we commemorate the 50th year of the War on Poverty. And I thank my good friend, Congresswoman Barbara Lee, who will be holding a commemoration in recognition not only of Lyndon Baines Johnson, the president who declared war on poverty, but also the many workers and many presidents since who in many aspects helped to build on the nation's safety net. Today, however, we find ourselves in a dilemma, not recognizing and accepting success where it is. Poverty has fallen significantly over the last half-century. Since the mid-1960s, average incomes among the poorest fifth of Americans have risen significantly. Infant mortality has dropped sharply, and severe child malnutrition has largely disappeared, but it still exists. In parts of my 18th congressional district in Texas, we have very high mortality rates. It means that our job is not over. Nearly 50 million Americans, however, were poor in 2012. Including 13 million children, 60 million people live below half of the poverty line, and large racial disparities in the African American community were clear and documented. And African Americans have a lower college degree graduate level than white Americans. And so the safety net has to be something for all of us. And as I borrowed this from my good friend from California, just to show you a line of Americans possibly looking for work, we cannot point out and we cannot know at this point which one of these are near the edge of poverty or living in poverty simply because they cannot find work. And so it is important to note that there are elements that many discard: the Earned Income Tax Credit, Supplemental Nutrition Program, the huge job training and educational investment that President Johnson made on the war on poverty, Medicaid and Medicare, huge safety nets, not handouts, but safety nets. Maybe the word welfare should be changed to something of a transitional living fund, for that is what it is, for people to be able to live. There's been much maligning of the Affordable Care Act. Well, I'm here to announce today that close to 9 million people have now been a recipient and a victor in getting health care. 3 million young people have been able to stay on their parents' insurance. And we have seen the slowest growth in health care in 50 years. Safety net. And as well, we have people who will no longer have lifetime caps or pre-existing conditions preventing them from getting insurance, or those who work as roofers or laborers who, because of their work is difficult or dangerous, they cannot get insurance. Safety net, part of the overall picture of the war on poverty. And now we find ourselves in the midst of a debate about a transitional outreach to individuals who are chronically unemployed. And some would argue we should not do it. We should not do it when individuals who have looked for work actively, when there are 3 individuals per job. Some would say we need an offset. I consider it an emergency. But you know, Mr. Speaker, I'm concerned about the people in my district and across America that are tired of partisan politics. And so why not a compromise? Why not a 3-month emergency extension and then a deliberation on the offset? Well, that probably will not be heard. So what is the offset? Why are we not in the midst of a combined discussion about what would be the most effective for all of the members to be able to vote on? Because it is documented that the unemployed are in everyone's district, 1.3 million that are chronically unemployed. Who is on the brink of poverty? Who is not able to secure a safety net? And let me just make mention of the Earned Income Tax Credit that has been a vital lifeline for many around the nation, but yet that is looked upon as a potential cut. It's too expensive. But these are lifelines, safety nets that President Johnson started, and frankly, of all the wealthy nations, we have the lowest safety net and the highest poverty because we're not willing to accept the fact that sometimes an American needs help, even a veteran, even a soldier. So today I honor the 50th anniversary of the war on poverty, Mr. Speaker, and I ask us to not give up the fight because the American people are looking to us to win the war. I yield back.
The chair now recognizes the gentleman from